Welcome to the Crypto Truth, where I give you the truth as I see it. Today, I am going to be making a response video to this video by Dave Ramsey. If I am glad that I actually just now got it, because this was about 5 days ago or so, and yeah, so let's get right into it. I am going to be commenting quite a bit. I'm going to make sure, this is about my 8th time doing this. I got halfway through the one video and I forgot to totally take off the mute button, which I have done in the past, so I'm going to try not to do that again. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started here.
By the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. I do a lot of stupid stuff, but my personal rule is not to do the same stupid stuff over and over.
You evolved.
I try to, well, I've evolved. It's a higher level of stupid.
There we go.
Because the past level of stupid has been grown upon.
It's always right below the surface. You got to watch out.
PhD in DUMB. I have graduated.
Wow.
There you go.
Deloney has 2 of those,
Yeah,
I've heard.
well, he's not in that. He's got real ones. But there you go.
The good kind.
Today's question comes from Jason in Connecticut, who's also not evolved.
So he stated that who's also not evolved. I want you guys to understand, if you really listen to Dave Ramsey, you see how much of an asshole he is and how degrading he is to people. He comes from an old school mentality that, well, I used to do or think a certain way and I don't anymore. And therefore that makes me better than everybody or better than that individual. But a lot of times he doesn't realize in certain things he's a complete idiot. You don't have to have like a degrees and all of this to measure intelligence. There are different types of intelligence. And one of them, I think that with people like Dave Ramsey, they really don't understand that human beings, we experience different things and how we go about life and how we adjust ourselves. Yes, I am a very judgy person. I judge people all the time, but I am not degrading. And again, that major difference. I'm not going to be cutting it short like this all the time. Throughout the video, we're going to listen to some meat and potatoes of what he has to say. But just the philosophy, the theology, and I'm going to say theology because there is a little bit in here. It's a hint of it, but that's only because of my experience in the field. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue.
Can we start treating Bitcoin the same way you would treat single stocks? Crud, son. I understand you're not a fan. No kidding. Where'd you figure that out? But an asset with $1 trillion market cap is not a beanie baby. No, but it's still thin air. Ask people like Warren Buffett, who says if he doubled the amount he had put in Bitcoin, he would still have zero because that's the amount he's put in Bitcoin. I'm going with Warren on this one. Not saying you have to add it to your portfolio, but it's a good enough asset to invest 5%. No, it's not.
Okay, I don't know where the 5% comes from.
I don't know
It's
where
an
the
arbitrary
$1 trillion
number.
market cap comes from. Mist and smoke and mirrors, like the whole
Here's what's
freaking
happened,
concept.
Dave. While you were enjoying some time off, Bitcoin has shot from the ground to the moon and probably back up again. And so now
No,
everyone's
really?
getting loud again
No way.
because it's hit all-time highs. And so now everyone's going, see, Dave is wrong about this.
You know what? We've got something else that repeats itself, like gold. See, I've been doing this show for 32 years.
This is something that you'll notice that Dave Ramsey always do. He changes the narrative because he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, the technology behind it. We're going to get into his comment at the end of the video as well. But he doesn't. His reasoning for not understanding what is happening is amazing. But Can you really expect people who make money like Dave Ramsey? And he made a comment that, Warren Buffett. Can you really depend or trust in people who make these millions of dollars? They don't give a flip. They don't give a flying fuck about you. They don't. And their history, well, I did things back in my day like this. The world is different. The energy that's given is different. And everything has to evolve, and everything has to change, and everything has to adjust. So I am going to break down his reasoning, because I think this is a major problem. As you guys know, I'm not a crypto bro. I'm not a crypto maximalist. I mean Bitcoin maximalist. I'm not a Bitcoin bro, or whatever they want to call it, because they always want to change the narrative. It's just like, oh, well, this guy plays video games. Oh yeah, those video games players complete total idiots, man. It's all they do is play video games all day long. Never mind the millions of intelligent people out there in the world that are making a difference in the world that actually play video games as well. So you can't just take one person's point of view on things and then try to change the narrative and say, oh, well, video game players are lazy, X, Y, and Z. And that's the same thing that Dave Ramsey does. He does it at every single video that's dealing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. He's actually prevented a lot of people from making money because of his point of view. He's rich people. He's played the monopoly game, and I'm gonna get into that in a second as well. And that's how he's got his money, because he understands monopoly. And I'm gonna make a comparison in which he's not going to like, but it's the truth. And again, that's why I make my videos, because I want to talk about the truth of what's happening, not this whole fluffy stuff about Bitcoin and treating it like stocks and how you see Bitcoin, and it's ridiculous. All right, let's continue.
And ever so often gold goes up and everybody goes, see, Dave, I told you. And then it goes down and those people just disappear. And then it goes up and they go, see, Dave, I told you. You don't understand gold. You don't really understand. Gold has value. Like what? Well, why does it have value? Because of people like you. It's a commodity. That's where people give value. The only reason gold has value is two people agreed it had value and they fought over it.
He just said the only reason why gold has value is because two people agreed to it and they fought over it, right? That's the reason why it has value. We can say that about a great many things in this world. So, and we're gonna get into this in a second. Let me just go ahead and press play before I don't want to. Let me just go ahead and continue.
That's the only reason. That's the same reason that green paper has value. Two people agreed it had value and they fought over it. That's what gives something value. So commodities are exactly the same way as currencies. And Bitcoin, someday, all kidding aside, all sarcasm aside, someday it may level out and become a thing. But, Jason, it's not there. It's not there. I wouldn't wish a Bitcoin investment on somebody I really dislike.
That's saying something.
I really would. I mean, I don't want...
And I apologize, but his buddy over here, family member / whatever he is, because I know that there's a lot of stuff that goes on Ramsey's show. I listen to Dave. As matter of fact, I actually listen to Dave Ramsey. You look at my history, I listen to a lot of his videos. So it's not like I hate the guy, but this whole show has just become a freaking clown show. And it's degrading to normal human beings and Americans, because they're not actually teaching you. They're teaching you how not to be broke. They're not teaching you how to get ahead. They're not teaching you how to live your life. They're not teaching you the value of your time and energy in your life. They're not teaching you any of these things. They're just basically trying to teach people how to not get in debt, how to invest properly in real estate, because that's part of the monopoly game. That's part of the world that we're living in right now, and that's how you get ahead. That's his goal. And so when he starts getting to philosophical things, well, one person agreed to it, another person agreed to it, and that's what gives us value. No, how about necessity? Let's talk about necessity for a split second that gives something value. When you look at gold, and to some degree I agree with Dave Ramsey. When you look at gold, oh, it's shiny. Oh, that's shiny. Somebody else says it's shiny. Somebody else says it's shiny. Oh, well, I think it's worth $100 per ounce. Okay, well, we all agree that it's $100 per ounce, right? But there's actually a functionality with gold. Actually, so there's something that it can be used. Its functions can be used. You can't compare Bitcoin to gold, and we're going to get into other cryptocurrencies. But you can't compare Bitcoin to gold because Bitcoin and gold have two different functions. And so when you look at and he's thinking, honestly, he's just thinking like an American. He understands like an American, and that's the problem. It is a problem. And let me tell you the reason why we talk about, oh, well, the greenbacks and a dollar bill. Why do a lot of people in other countries find the dollar bill more useful? Because they were forced to. That's why. That is the truth. We over here in America are reaping the benefits of years and years of the things that we have done in the past. That's why it has value, because of necessity. And so other countries who it was necessary for them to use the dollar bill, and it still is to some degree now. Why? Because their own government that has created their currency, in which all governments, by the way, has this unlimited amount of dollar bills, or whatever you want to call it, dinar, whatever you want to call it. There's an unlimited supply. They can always create more. And so Dave Ramsey understands this. He does. He understands that part. But what he doesn't understand is that there's a necessity there. So all of these people who are that don't have the any kind of physical currency, or has physical currency, but it's inflating like nobody's business, they're like, well, where do I put my energy? Because your energy is something that you value. Your life is something that you have. So when you're a doctor in society, and you're a doctor over in the Philippines, let's say you're an excellent doctor in the Philippines, and you're going to make more money over here in Florida. But guess what? You're going to make more money in California and New York as a doctor. The same energy, the same operation, the same everything. Your energy is different. And so why is that? Because the rich don't care about how you're using your energy. They care about the ultimate goal of where your energy is going to, which means that they care about the stock market, because a lot of people are investing in the stock market. They care about lining their pockets, right? Because they want you to spend your money on frivolous things in which it's not going to move them from what they're investing in. And so a lot of educated people know that obviously one of the best things that you can invest in life in general is real estate, which is how Dave Ramsey made his money. So he's been playing the Monopoly game because he figured it out. He said, you know what? I can make this amount of money because my energy that I'm putting in, I don't have to work 40, 80 hours a week. I can invest in real estate and have my money work for me. But guess what, people? That is not conducive to a society in which we can live consistently. And I'm gonna prove it to you. We have all of these, like I stated before, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, wherever you are, and you're making so much money in one place, you're going to make more money in a different place, which means that your energy is different. We already covered that, right? If you have your energy and you're working so much in something, and you put it in your local currency, and that currency is inflating, you're now losing the energy that you're putting in. As a matter of fact, over here in America, it's already happened to us. It's happening to us, but in a lesser degree than other countries. And that's why it's so easy for people over here in America to pretend like, oh, well, you know what? I don't think Bitcoin's worth it. Because they don't see the function of Bitcoin. Now, me personally, I believe that Bitcoin is a store of value and will be a store of value for a long period of time until it may, because I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I don't think it's going to happen as far as Bitcoin becoming the currency. I do think that obviously its functionality, you can use it as a currency. But yeah, I don't think it, I don't know. I just don't know the future. I don't know it to be the currency. But I will tell you this, the faith and trust that we put into the American dollar is absolutely ridiculous. Why? Because over time, we're seeing that when old fossils like Dave Ramsey here, where he makes his $30 can buy you a whole refrigerator, where $30 can't buy you a damn refrigerator these days. Multiply that 20 to 30 times, 40 times, 50 times. And I'm being sarcastic. I'm not sarcastic. I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm pretty sure he's not that old. But I'm just trying to put in perspective that his energy and what he feels energy is going into is different. He's no longer like me and you, to where we have to look at how we're spending our energy every single day. How are we spending our hours working or doing certain things every single day and reevaluating where we're putting that energy, because we're losing it. Because the moment that it inflates, now your 40 hours a week, your 40-hour job that you used to have is not covering it anymore. And why is it not covering it anymore? Because they're making things more expensive. And who is benefiting from all of this? The rich is. And you know what they're investing in? They're not trying to survive. No, they're buying more real estate because they're playing a monopoly game. And I'm going to tell you, flip on why it's not conducive to a society worth living in. Because if everybody bought, all the rich people, all the people with money, all the educated people, they're all buying real estate. And I understand that's what they're doing. They're trying to conserve their energy because real estate is only going to go up. There is no more land. You can't make or create more land anymore. It's the same difference. You can't make or create any more Bitcoin. It is what it is. It's only at 21 million. It's maxed out. So his disagreement in Bitcoin, his application as to why he disagrees with Bitcoin doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because he's playing the same game in the real estate market. Which, at the end of the day, all of these people who are invested in real estate keeps driving the price up, 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 and up, and up, and up. It's not solving anything in society. That's why I don't give a flying fuck about his contributions to whatever he's doing in society, because they're not meaning a damn thing in the grand scheme of the world. He's not trying to change anything, people. He wants you to invest in the 401k and he wants you to invest in real estate so you can buy his land, so he can go and buy more land. Or whatever strategy. I have read his book. You know, my grandma gave me a book. My grandma was actually, me and my grandma, I was born and raised fundamental independent Baptist. I grew up with extreme fundamental views in the world, in life. I went to a Bible college. I preached for a little bit. I understand his philosophical views, and I'm gonna tell you right now that it's absolutely positively wrong, because you're not solving anything. And that's why I get upset with all of these people who are like, well, back in my day, we did things like this. Well, back in your day, the world is where it is now because of what happened back in your day. See, everything is, there's a flow chart to everything. And the flow chart right now is that we over here in America have a certain type of thinking, a certain way of thinking, and we're not thinking about other countries. We're not thinking about the things that they're going through. We're not thinking about anything. We're just thinking about ourselves as Americans. And so Dave Ramsey over here, he's thinking like an American, like the normal everyday American, that the rich American. And we're seeing more and more how out of touch these people are in the world. because there's these rich people are in the world. Their solutions, their philosophical ways, and their reasoning does not make any sense. Why? Because there's always a bias to make them richer. And so therefore it makes it a MLM, a multi it's a MLM on a large scheme of things. Multi-level marketing, MLM. And I call Bitcoin the same thing, and I made a whole entire hour-long video on it. So people who think I'm here just to scratch your backs for Bitcoin, I'm not. I'm just here to tell you the truth of what it is. And there's nothing wrong with Bitcoin being a store of value. But let's call it what it is. Over here in America, it is a store of value, and that's how it's mostly being used. Over in other countries, it's used as a currency because they rather use an electronic digital code than use something that their government creates so that they can have free energy. Because that's basically what they're doing. They're creating their currency and saying, hey, you got to work for this. And basically, it's a slave-like mentality. We all know this, people. We all know it. So this whole game, how do you solve this issue? How do you solve this problem? You solve it by facing the truth. You start it by telling the truth. And you stop being ignorant. But it's kind of hard because when you do things that brought you to a certain level, oh, well, I'm rich now, I'm a multimillionaire now. Oh, that's not going to work. He's listening to the advice of Warren Buffett, who's 90 plus years old. Are you fucking kidding me? And you want me to adopt the same philosophical strategies as him? No. Dave Ramsey wants everyone, or a lot of people, to invest in 401ks, real estate, 401ks that take out all your taxes, Roth IRAs in which they're taxing you in the beginning. All of these different things. They're wanting everyone to start investing in the stock market. Why? Because the stock market is never going to go down. Why is it never going to go down? Because they're printing money. They're going to put it in the hands of the people. The people are going to spend their money, and then the people who own the businesses and the rich people in the real estate, they're going to invest it all in the stock market, and they're going to buy up everything when everything crashes, and it just happens, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. So I want to hear a damn thing about how this guy here at Dave Ramsey, this guy, I can prove to you that he's ignorant. Yes, he may be a multi-millionaire and have way more money than I do, but his line of reasoning is skewed. All right, I'm going to press play. We're going to go ahead and continue.
I don't even want those people to lose money.
Well, even then, I see single stocks very differently because stocks are based on a company's performance and revenue being created.
Well, that's because you're intelligent.
I didn't have to think that deeply to get there. And so, again, I'm not mad at...
Did he just say that? He said that's because you're intelligent, so everybody else is an idiot? Or everybody else is unintelligent? And where does this intelligent line goes? Again, I am kind of picking and choosing what these certain, because everything can be taken out of context. I get it. I can blow everything way out of proportion from a simple a statement. I get it. There's a lot of things that I say that, you know what, it could be blown out of proportion, and somebody could take a video of me or record a video of me, or even play back some of my videos and be like, this guy's an idiot. He said X, Y, and Z, and it's that statement, and then that's it. So I totally get it. But these people are going to come down off of their high horse very, very fast, because the government is going to want to make sure that people... Why do you guys think that inflation has been sticking? It has not. Oh, inflation is transitory. Bullshit. Oh, it's just a time, and then they go back up. Bullshit. As long as you got companies and organizations and businesses that has taken over these large companies and organizations, they don't want to respect the energy. They don't want to respect your energy, and therefore you're going to make less and less money. So everybody is now fighting so they don't have to work a 9-to-5 job. But that is not efficient. It's just not. All right. I'm all right. Stop there. Go ahead.
Bitcoin, but to say Bitcoin is the same as a single stock is just not true.
No, Bitcoin is a currency.
It's speculation based on hype.
Currencies have no value except for their track record that indicates that two people are willing to fight over them. That's why the yen versus the dollar, the pound versus the dollar, the Deutschmark versus the yen, these things compared back and forth. It's the faith that people have in something. And of all the currencies, Bitcoin has the least faith. It's the most.
I've heard a lyric.
Let me tell you something. Why does Bitcoin, let me say the least faith? Why does Bitcoin have less faith than the real estate market? Because guess what? In real estate, the necessity to have land is greater. It's all supply and demand. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. It's supply and demand as the demand for a currency to actually be able to hold its value or store value, obviously, for it to be able to hold its value long enough so that when you do save up your energy, you can move forward. You know, when we're talking about when Dave Ramsey talks about Bitcoin, he always talks about Bitcoin bros, and his partner over here, he talks about Bitcoin bros or whatever. And you know, they're all part of a clique in the back scenes. I'm not gonna go into how I know that, but it is what it is. Again, it's because of my upbringing and because of how there's a lot there. But anyway, when Dave Ramsey talks about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, you can clearly see that he goes immediately to, the Bitcoin bros. And I'm going to make a comparison. The Bitcoin bros, a lot of these guys are like these guys when let's say you first walk into a gym. And there's these memes out there. You first walk into a gym, let's not do January. No, you first walk into a gym, June. That way, all of the people who have their New Year's resolutions, they're all gone. By June, they're all gone. They're like, I'm going to the beach. I don't care. Fat, happy. I'm doing my thing. I'm not going to the gym no more. Right? They're doing their thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you go to the gym. Let's say you're in June. And you got the Bitcoin bros, the guys, protein powder, everything. They're making themselves big. It looks good, right? They walk in the gym, they're like, I look good. Oh. You know, and then unless you're at Planet Fitness, you can't even sing at Planet Fitness without them getting on to you about making noise. I don't understand that shit. But anyway, I'm like, they got all these big, huge muscles and everything, and they can lift everything, and they're trying to work on their powerful, when I think of Bitcoin bros, that's what I think of. Because these guys, they're a lot of them are like Bitcoin maximalists. You see what they've earned over time, so they've had gains, right? And they make all of this money and everything, and everybody is like, oh my God, look at him. Like, wow. But an educated person knows that there's more to the body than just building up muscle. There's way more to the body than just building up muscle. And so when the educated person knows that, okay, well, it's great that I can be big and huge and have all of these muscles, but what is it good for? It's good for moving things. What was that commercial? I lift things up and put them down. Well, you can move a lot. You can do all kinds of things with having a lot of muscle and being big. Guess what? It won't help you live longer. And if you get shot in the head by a bullet, you're still going to die. I hate to say it, but no matter how much muscle you build up, there's only a limited amount of gains that you're going to have of functionality. So when you look at Bitcoin bros, that's what they have. And it's great and it's awesome that you have those muscles. But when you look at the technology, these guys talking about blockchain, and I just made a video of the different distributed ledger technologies. There's way more out there than just blockchain. You have to educate yourself. You want to get ahead in life? You want to do things in life? You need to be able to educate yourself, and you need to be able to be flexible. So while there's Bitcoin bros, there's also guys who walk in the gym. Slim, athletic, flexible. They can run fast. They can jump high. They can do all kinds of stuff. They're still strong now. They're not weak or anything like that. But their muscles, their body has more functionality. And that's the whole thing with these technologies and cryptocurrency. They have different functions, and they can do different things, and some better than others. So some of them, some cryptocurrencies are like the gym people who have these big, huge legs and little tiny, skinny arms. And then the opposite, little tiny, skinny legs and big arms. Because they're working out different things, they have different functionalities. But what are you doing in life? If you're a gymnast, you might want to have a strong upper body. Stronger upper body than a stronger lower body, right? Because you're swinging on things and, the bars and different things like that. So it's understandable. How are you using it? Same thing with cryptocurrency. But educating yourself and knowing exactly what the functionality is, that's going to be more important than anything else. So again, we have this where we're talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And again, the reason why I actually have saw this video is because of the fact I watch a lot of Dave Ramsey. I don't like how he degrades people sometimes. But there's a real problem. There's a real problem with the American mindset. And I can't solve that. I'm one of those people. I can't teach people or persuade people anymore. I have to just tell people what I do, and you do whatever you need to do in life. Because everybody's world is different. But I don't pretend like I'm better than anybody else. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and continue.
UMB. I have graduated. Wow. There you go.
Deloney has two of those,
yeah,
I've heard.
Well, he's not in that. He's got real. Ask people like Warren Buffett this one. And smoke and mirrors that repeats itself. Gold has value. Like what? Well, why does it have value? Because of people like you. It's a commodity. That's the only reason. That's the same reason that green paper has value. Two people agreed it had value and they fought over it. That's what gives
Sorry
something
about
value.
that, guys.
So commodities are exactly the same way as currencies. And Bitcoin, someday, all kidding aside, all sarcasm aside, someday it may level out and become a thing. But, Jason, it's not there. It's not there. I wouldn't wish a Bitcoin investment on somebody I really dislike.
That's saying something.
I really would. I mean, I don't even want those people to lose money.
Well, even then, I see single stocks very differently because stocks are based on a company's performance and revenue being created.
Well, that's because you're intelligent.
I didn't have to think that deeply to get there. And so, again, I'm not mad at Bitcoin, but to say Bitcoin is the same as a single stock is just not true.
No, Bitcoin is a currency.
It's speculation based on hype.
Currencies have no value except for their track record that indicates that two people are willing to fight over them. That's why the yen versus the dollar, the pound versus the dollar, the Deutschmark
I'm sorry you guys have to
versus
listen to this over
the yen,
again.
these things compared back and forth. It's the faith that people have in something. And of all the currencies, Bitcoin has the least faith. It's the most...
I've heard a lyric once. You got to have faith, Dave.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't going to go there. Oh, yeah, there's it. I mean, it's not, so it's going to continue to be volatile until it's not. And even then, I don't invest in the Iraqi dinar because it had Saddam Hussein's face on it, and no one has faith in that currency anymore. I don't invest in Confederate dollars from the Civil War because no one any longer has faith that they have value except as a collectible. I do not invest in things where people have not established a long track record of faith. And even then on a currency, I don't invest in a currency. I would utilize it. I would utilize it. So to the point that I don't trust PayPal to be an exchange. That's a trust mechanism. I don't use PayPal for an exchange. So I don't even use Bitcoin for an exchange because it's too freaking out there for that even. But it's a currency, honey. It's not an investment, to George's point.
Well, Dave, you just don't understand the blockchain technology. And once you get it, you'll change your mind. That's the line I hear all the time.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't understand the blockchain. It's the future. Maybe it is.
You know, when you say stuff like that, it indicates you don't understand investments. Because I've seen 4 cycles in my adult life of the nothing.
Did you hear what he just said? He said when you say stuff like that, you don't understand investments. Okay, gotcha. So let me ask everybody a question. I can guarantee you this. And we can go down the ladder because I know Dave, not know him, but I've watched enough of his shows and understand a lot of his mentality. If you had a car, he knows, he gets in a car, he drives it around, he knows how it works, he knows how it operates, right? Does he know on a molecular level how a microwave works, how a refrigerator works, how his computer works that they're using, right? His microphone that he's using, does he know how that works? Does he know how this hearing device here works? Does he know how glasses specifically are made that he's using on his face? No, I don't think so. And I'm willing to bet he doesn't. Does he know how his chair is made? What kind of materials is made out of? What kind of his desk is made out of? Does he know any of that kind of stuff? No, he's using it. He doesn't care. He's just being able to use it. That's what a lot of people, when you get out of this American mentality that, oh, well, everything, oh my God, like I can't physically hold it so it doesn't have a use case. But guarantee you, there's a lot of people over in Africa who don't have any kind of internet whatsoever. And let me tell you something, if they can have something that can hold value, they will use it because that's going to help them. They're tired of making these emails about African princes. They're trying to make money now. Because their governments aren't doing it for them. And the longer you start, everybody, this is everybody here. The longer you start depending on one single man in your government or these people who are rich and have all of these things, the moment that you start thinking that they're more intelligent than you, but you have great reasoning, there's a problem. These people, Dave Ramsey is not a leader. His show is not a leader. His show is entertaining, but they're not leaders. Yes, he has his motivational speaking engagements that he does, and I don't even know who these people are, but I can almost guarantee you, back in the day, I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day, I got interested in a multi-level marketing thing, and I went to the thing, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. The guy was up there, he was speaking about believing and having faith and being strong and being able to weather through the storm and sales and different things like that. And he says, I have a $7 million pair of pants or whatever, and I can do this with it, and a pair of jeans. And he's like, he just ripped it up. And he's like, why? Because I can do that. And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck would you rip up $7 million worth of something? I would just go ahead and sell it and then have a different function for it so it can have a better use case. But once again, as I stated before, this world does not care about your energy being used as a better use case. They don't care. They want you to be in a cog, and they want you to continue in this cog until you absolutely work yourself to death, or you waste all of this time. Think about time, people. Your energy is your time. It's all interchangeable. We're not going to get into the science of stuff. Your time and energy and what you're receiving with your time and energy. Oh, you're going to get this green dollar so you can survive. Why is it? Again, I hate beating a dead horse, but why is it that people like Dave Ramsey and all of these rich people in the world, why is it that we have so many people in this world and nobody's moving a needle? Because they're reasoning. Because they're not trying to make a difference in the world. If we got all of the intelligent people together and said, okay, we're going to get all the smartest individuals, the intelligent individuals, and the wisest individuals. We're going to get them all together and we're going to say, okay, let's go ahead and we're going to create a new way of government. Oh my God. There will be something, if they did it properly, everyone would be like, okay, this is great. But where's the leader? Who's the leader? Who's the ultimate source of information? And so, unfortunately, people like Dave Ramsey has stopped educating themselves because they already have money. They already played the Monopoly game. They won. His time and energy that he's used, that he's developed over years and years and years and years. And that's what he's going to tell people. Well, you know what? You start investing in Bitcoin. I mean, it's not Bitcoin, excuse me. And 401ks and start having an IRA and different things like that. And in 20 years, oh boy, you'll be a millionaire. Or 25 years or 30 years. Oh, what do you have to do? And then, here's another thing. A lot of his videos, when people say that they have multiple millions of dollars, he asks, what are you doing? Are you doing charity? Are you paying it forward? Different things like that. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm a little bit of a cynic. And I'm thinking, is he trying to get these people to keep their money by reducing their taxes by investing in charity? I don't understand. There's a lot of millionaires in the United States of America. I do understand it. And we have all been so inefficient. How many people? There's very few people. Very few. I look at, when I grew up, I went to the Boys and Girls Club. And my parents didn't have a lot of money. And so I went to the Boys and Girls Club after school or during the summertime. And we had our little key card things and stuff like that where we can come in. And I remember every once in a while there would be some people coming in for charity. I think Shaq came. I think Nick Anderson came to. I lived over in Sanford, Florida, and I was born and raised there. And Nick Anderson came there, and I think there's a few others. And I remember all of these things that people they had this charity stuff, and you look at it, and I remember all of the parents, all of the people who were in charge, their sons and daughters, because that's how the world works, people. Especially how the sports world works. You want to know how the world works? Just look at how sports is. That's how the world works. And I remember distinctly there was a lady, and I'm going somewhere with this. There was a lady whose son was there. Her son was being a complete asshole, and there's a lot of money that's been poured into these charities, but we're just trying to give children a chance. And we're just trying to give them, something else to do, a better place to go. So you send these kids to these irresponsible adults. And then they grow up and then they're in this society. And let me tell you something. You want to know how many people that the Boys and Girls Club, how many lives has actually changed compared to how much money has gone into it? Hardly none. You want to know why the world isn't changing even though we have all of these millionaires who have invested? Because it doesn't matter how much money you give people. It's the philosophical view that they have and where they're going. And I'm trying to tell you that no matter how much you put into charity, maybe yes, you can change one individual's life. You can. You can tell yourself, I'm going to help that child over there, and I'm going to pay for his scholarship to Brinkley University. I don't even know if there's a Brinkley University, but whatever. I was thinking about You've Got Mail, and the dog's name is Brinkley. That's why I said Brinkley. Sorry. All right. So, Brinkley University. And this guy, he goes to the college. He does everything right. He becomes a doctor or a lawyer. And in the grand scheme of things, you have changed an individual's life. Now, that I can get on board with. But that's not efficient. To change society, to change, to be able to. So money isn't the answer. They keep throwing money at it. Yeah, you got a charity. You want to you go. Now I tip very good. I was a server for a long period of time. My girlfriend knows that I tip good. So I can't tip as good as Dave Ramsey can, but I tip way more than the average person, way more. But I do that out of the kindness of my heart. I don't understand some of these people that's always talking about charity and different things like that. It's not changing anything. It's not changing the way the world works. Okay? It's not. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. You guys know what was happening. I'm going to label this video rant video, and you guys can just watch it or not watch it. All right, here we go.
Down real estate come and go. 4 cycles of it. We're in the 4th right now on TikTok and a little bit on Instagram. But I've seen 4 of them. Some of you aren't old enough to have seen one of them. And so you're going to fall headlong into it like I did the first time and bloody your freaking nose. So you can decide, do old people have wisdom from their experience, or are they out of touch and they don't understand blockchain technology? You don't understand because you didn't grow up with an iPhone in your hand. You didn't use it as a pacifier, so you don't know how the world works.
All right, that's the end of it. But I got something to say about that last statement. You grow up with technology, you don't understand how the world works. Let me tell you something, people. From a philosophical, and this is going to philosophy, theology, and I love science. You got to have reasoning. Some of the greatest inventors used reason in order to move forward. Look, people. Until we stop and really think about what we're doing in our life, and nothing's going to change. You can't get mad at people like Dave Ramsey. I can. I guess we can get mad at people like Dave Ramsey. I'm only upset and mad because of his reasoning and the type of reasoning that he's giving other, like they're going to have the same reasoning as him and it's going to be wrong. And I'm going to tell you that it's wrong. And I can pull out a map and I can show you exactly why it's wrong. And I can pull out, a piece of paper and we can write this out and you can look at it and you can look at the flow chart and you'll be like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. And I'm not saying we have to be able to adjust to what our society is. And right now, in the United States of America, how our society works, back in the day, it was you didn't know who was a criminal or who was doing certain things because there weren't any video cameras. There was no technology. Oh, and by the way, if you were a certain skin color, hell no. So, and that is a fact. But guess what? Even now today, hardly nothing's changed. We got so many people on both sides of the aisle. You guys know that I am not. I'm very much independent. I'm very much in the middle, and I don't lean left or right. But that's the problem in the United States of America is everybody's leaning too far, leaning, and they're falling over flat on their damn faces because they're reasoning. They don't have good reasoning. And guess what? Anybody who's going to tell anybody the truth, they're not going to be anything in the United States of America because people don't want to hear the truth. They just don't. They rather live in La La Land and pretend like hey, you know what? The world is falling around behind me, so I'm going to get into drugs. Why not? The world is falling around me. Nobody cares about me. I don't have any friends. I'll kill myself. That's just terrible mentality. And our veterans, and as you guys know, I am a veteran, but our veterans are having a hard time in the United States of America, especially when a lot of them come back and they see way worse stuff than I ever have seen. And our veterans are struggling. And the energy that they're receiving, they're struggling to live, they're struggling to survive, and nobody's telling them the truth. And a lot of them understand where the truth is, and so they're looking around, and they're not receiving any help. People, as a guy, and I'm going to close on this. As a guy who, when I got married at the age of 20, I worked fucking hard to take care of my family. I woke up to go to the day labor place. I rode my bicycle to go to the to go to the gas station because at the time you can go to a gas station, cash your check. Hey, they get first off. I had to ride my bicycle back to the place, cash my check, and then I had to ride my bicycle to the store to get groceries for my home, in which they didn't have a lot of money. And this is over in Goldsboro, in Sanford. So I'm telling you guys, I know what it means to work hard. And I know what it means to be fundamental, independent Christian Baptist moral. And I said that for a reason. I said that long line for a reason. But when I got married, I was a virgin. I didn't do a lot of things. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do a whole lot of stuff. Let me tell you something. The energy that I put behind when I was in the ministry, when I preached and everything else in between, nobody respected the energy that I had put in. And you know what people are going to say? Wow, you're telling me your story? Wow, you're a good guy. Pat on the back. But guess what? It's not going to make a damn difference if you cannot put money, because money is the end all be all. It's also the root of evil. We love of money, root of evil. We're not getting into all this. But you can't survive. So that's why you have people who don't have, and here in America, we reward people for being unethical. Because we live in a society to where we believe that, okay, nobody wants to live in a socialist society, a communist society. So everyone's like, you know what? We want the way that our society works right now. It's the best way, and it's not working. Nobody cares. See, nobody thinks about the people who didn't make mistakes like Dave Ramsey, because the people who didn't make mistakes like Dave Ramsey and were just good people trying to work hard, trying to educate themselves, trying to move forward in life and doing all the right things, they don't get nowhere. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. And that's the truth, people. And so with human beings, you're trying to tell them that they're going to that you're gonna treat everybody in America a certain way. So it's run so inefficiently. You think that people are just going to be good people when you're actually destroying people who are good people, who are trying to do things the right way. It doesn't work. That's the truth. It doesn't work. And nobody cares. And so until we get to a society to where our leaders actually care about our lives, care about our energy, care about how we live our lives, and actually tell us the truth about what we're doing wrong or inefficient in our lives to prevent us from living the lives that we want. And we're going to have to be able to take it. We're going to have to be able to take the hard truth. And not a lot of people want to take it. Anyways, again, thank you guys very much. This was a rant video. You guys know what was happening. As I always say, please don't be Dave Ramsey. Do your own research. Do your own research. Please do your own research. And last but not least, above all else, this world is absolutely crazy out there. Please stay safe out there. Okay, you guys? All right. Bye, you guys.